Wellness Rhythm Show. Find your rhythm. Live your wellness.
Y'all, quick question. When was the last time you woke up before your alarm, felt genuinely rested, and didn't immediately reach for your phone? Take a second. Actually think about it.
Right, because for most people that memory is either distant or fictional. And there's a reason for that, a biological one.
We're talking about your circadian rhythm today. And before anyone tunes out thinking this is just sleep hygiene rehashed, it is not. This goes way deeper.
Your circadian rhythm is essentially a 24-hour internal clock, and the modern world is in a constant, low-grade war against it. Artificial light, irregular schedules, late-night scrolling, all of it sends conflicting signals to your biology.
Here's the thing, though. You can push back. Practically without a sleep lab or a stack of supplements. That's what we're digging into today.
So let's define this properly. Your circadian rhythm isn't just about when you feel sleepy. It governs hormone release, body temperature, metabolism, immune function, the whole system.
Which honestly reframed everything for me. I used to think I just had a sleep problem. Turns out I had a light problem.
That's actually a precise way to put it. The primary driver of your circadian clock is light. Specifically, light hitting specialized cells in your eyes called intrinsically photosensitive retinal ganglion cells, IPRGCs, which signal directly to the suprachiasmatic nucleus in your hypothalamus.
The master clock.
Exactly. And the research from Dr. Sachin Panda at the Salk Institute is probably the most accessible entry point here. His work on circadian biology shows that when you get light exposure is as critical as how much sleep you get.
And morning light is the linchpin. I started stepping outside for about 5 minutes before my coffee. It's already in my routine. And honestly, within days, I noticed I was falling asleep faster at night.
Which is consistent with the data. Morning bright light, ideally natural sunlight within 30 to 60 minutes of waking, suppresses residual melatonin, anchors your cortisol awakening response, and sets the timing signal for your entire day.
Even on cloudy days?
Even on cloudy days. Outdoor light on an overcast morning is still 10 to 50 times brighter than typical indoor lighting. The signal gets through.
Okay, so that's the morning anchor. But y'all, let me tell you, the evening side of this equation is where most of us are really struggling.
Right, so here's what I've learned from the neuroscience, particularly Dr. Andrew Huberman's work at Stanford. Blue and green wavelength light in the evening suppresses melatonin onset by up to 90 minutes. And your phone, your laptop, your overhead LEDs, they're all producing exactly that.
I will fully confess that my phone in the evening is my biggest ongoing struggle. I've fixed the bedroom lamp. I switched to a warm-toned bulb. I have the white noise machine. But the phone is the thing I haven't solved.
And that's worth naming honestly because the research doesn't care about our good intentions. A 2022 study published in PNAS, that's the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, found that light exposure in the hour before sleep was significantly associated with higher rates of obesity, diabetes, and depression. Not just poor sleep.
That's the part that makes it feel urgent rather than just aspirational, you know?
Exactly. And here's the nuance I want to add, because I don't want us to catastrophize. Your circadian system has some flexibility. It evolved to handle variation. The goal isn't perfection, it's consistent signaling.
Like giving your body reliable cues, even if they're not perfect.
Right, temperature is another underutilized lever. Your core body temperature needs to drop about 1 to 2 degrees Fahrenheit to initiate deep sleep. Dr. Matthew Walker at UC Berkeley writes extensively about this in Why We Sleep. It's one of the most evidence-backed triggers in sleep science.
And this is where I want to push back slightly on the practical side. Because telling someone to cool their bedroom to 65 to 68 degrees sounds simple, but if you're sharing a bed with someone who runs cold, or you're in a house with a temperamental thermostat, that is not always a straightforward fix.
Fair, genuinely fair. A warm shower or bath taken about 90 minutes before bed achieves a similar effect through what's called vasodilation. Blood rushes to the surface of your skin, heat dissipates, and core temperature drops.
See, that I can work with. That's Tuesday night accessible.
It is. And while we're on practical work, can we talk about meal timing because this is underappreciated?
Oh, the late dinner thing.
Dr. Panda's research again. Eating out of alignment with your circadian window activates metabolic processes that disrupt sleep architecture. Late, large meals push digestion into nighttime hours when your body is meant to be in repair mode.
I've noticed this myself. A heavy dinner at 8:30 versus finishing eating closer to 6:30. The sleep quality difference is real.
The general guidance from circadian biology research is to try to finish your last meal 2 to 3 hours before bed. Not a rigid rule, but a meaningful signal.
Now here's where I want to check in with our listeners, because I know someone right now is thinking, this all sounds great, but I work night shifts. or I have a newborn, or my schedule is completely irregular, right?
And that's a legitimate concern. For shift workers, the research from the Society for Research on Biological Rhythms acknowledges this is genuinely harder. The guidance is to try to maintain as consistent a light-dark schedule as possible on days off, rather than completely resetting, because social jet lag, that's the mismatch between your biological clock and your social schedule, compounds the damage.
Y'all, if you're getting value from this conversation, this is exactly the kind of stuff we dig into every episode. Please like and subscribe so you don't miss any of it. It genuinely helps us keep going.
And it's free, which relative to most wellness interventions is rather extraordinary.
Ha! David Park making the ROI case for a podcast subscription. Very on brand.
I contain multitudes, but let's address the supplement angle quickly because people will ask.
Oh, melatonin.
So here's the thing. Most people use melatonin wrong. It is not a sedative. It's a timing signal. The research, including meta-analyses published in PLOS One, suggests low doses, 0.5 to 1 milligram, taken about 30 to 60 minutes before your intended sleep time, are more effective than the 3 to 10 milligram doses most products sell.
Which, as someone with supplements in her cabinet, I will say, the dosing information on most packaging is not calibrated to the science.
It rarely is. And chronotype matters here. Whether you're naturally an early bird or a night owl is partly genetic. Research by Dr. Till Roenneberg at Ludwig Maximilian University of Munich shows that up to 50% of chronotype is heritable. You can shift your window, but you cannot completely override your biology.
So if you're a night owl who keeps being told to just go to bed earlier, it's not a willpower failure. Your biology has a genuine preference.
Though light exposure remains the most powerful lever for shifting that window over time.
Okay, so what's the actual starting point? Because we've covered morning light, evening light, temperature, meal timing, chronotype, it's a lot.
Pick one, seriously. The research on behavior change, and this tracks with BJ Fogg's work at Stanford on tiny habits, shows that single anchor habit changes are more durable than overhauling everything simultaneously.
Morning light is the one I'd start with. It's free, it takes 5 minutes, and it sets everything else in motion. Stack it onto something you already do. Your coffee routine, school pickup prep, whatever your morning looks like.
And if I were to add a second, it would be the evening light environment. Even just dimming overhead lights and switching to warm-toned lamps in the hour before bed is a meaningful signal. You don't need blackout protocols. Just shift the quality of light.
Here's the thing, though. This is one of those areas where the gap between what we know and what we do is enormous. Most people understand sleep matters. They just haven't connected their light environment to their sleep quality.
And that's the bridge worth building.
So if you take one thing from today, one practical thing, let it be this. Get outside within an hour of waking, even 5 minutes, no sunglasses required. It costs nothing, and the data is genuinely compelling.
And if you want the slightly more British framing, your body is not broken. It's just receiving confused signals. Give it clearer ones, and it tends to perform rather well.
I love that. Right, so we'd love to hear how you're doing with your sleep rhythms. Come find us and let us know. And if this episode gave you something useful, please share it with someone who keeps saying they're tired but doesn't know why. That person needs this conversation.
Until next time, get your morning light and perhaps go to bed at a sensible hour.
From someone who won't be, but is trying. Good night, y'all. This show is part of the VoxCrea.AI system. If you want a show like this for your organization without building it yourself,
go to VoxCrea.AI and request a sample episode.